Good morning, Yorkshire Classic Cars Limited fans. Whispering a bit because I'm in a busy industrial estate, but you'll notice from the intro there that I'm back at the mapping place with the Capri. Okay, there she is. After some turbulent times that I'll tell you about later, I'm hoping that we're going to be done today. You'll notice I've been back a couple of times and therefore I don't bother wasting my time with the bonnet anymore. But we're getting ready to put it on the rolling road, and hopefully, or the dynamometer, it's not a rolling road, and hopefully everything will be good. So let's see how it goes. Well, tiny stop, lambda sensor not doing what it should, so just putting a CAN lambda sensor on it that works through CAN bus. So I'll stop for the minute, but to be continued soon, hopefully. We've made a grand total of 165 horsepower, which is less than standard, but you know, you've got to start somewhere. Off we go. Welcome back to my garage. You've just watched the video of my car on the rolling road at RDT in Harworth near Doncaster, or part of Doncaster. Will tuned my car, did a fantastic job, can't thank him enough. Don't know if he'll see this video or not, but I'll send it to him, see if he likes it, but fantastic job. The car on the upshot made, I think we came out with somewhere like, it's basically 350 horsepower at the hubs, which with a 10 to 15% parasitic loss of the transmission comes out at about 400, 420, something like that at the flywheel, depending on where you take it, 410, 400, which is about where we wanted to end up. It was done at, I think it was at 8 or 10 psi of boost, so not even 1 bar, not even 1 bar over atmospheric. The turbo had a lot more to give. The IATs were good. We could have wound it up to 11 and got an awful lot more than that. A range 600 would have been possible. That being said, probably more than that to be fair, but that being said, the engine is straight off a scrapyard. I bought it off eBay. I've never stripped it down apart from taking the crank out, as you've seen in a previous video. So safety was paramount. He said, what horsepower sort of do you want to achieve? Are you expecting to achieve, or have you built it to achieve? And I said, no idea. I want as much as I can get, but keep it safe. It was showing no knock whatsoever. I said to him, do you think it's worth risking any more? And he said, probably not, to be honest. He said, it's going to be pretty lively, and I'm not going to lie to you, it feels like it's got a lot more horsepower than that. The clutch was slipping a little, so if you watch the video, and it's you'll see the horsepower goes up and down a little bit like that, and the torque, you'll see at one point it peaked at 600 Newton meters of torque, which is nearly 500 foot-pound, which is a lot. It never had anywhere near that. I think it only used to have a couple hundred with the normally aspirated engine, so that's well over double. It's not double the horsepower, it's probably about 100 plus over the horsepower, maybe a bit more. Maybe nearer to 150 over the horsepower it had. Bearing in mind it's significantly lighter now, but everything else is equal, then it's pretty good. I don't think the clutch is slipping. I think basically he still had his foot resting on the pedal, and the master cylinder is too large. So the minute you touch it, it breaks traction with the clutch. It needs a smaller master cylinder. Worst case scenario, I have to machine a little bit more off the slave cylinder, but it may not. I think it's okay, but we'll see. I drove it. You'll have seen the video, or you will be about to see the video of me driving it. All I can say is the power is instant. The boost comes in at 2,000 RPM. Bearing in mind it's only a slow revving V8. It only revs to a max. We took the red line as 5,000 to keep it safe. I think the rev limiter is set to 52, something like that. It's in full boost by 3,200, which is insane. It just picks up like a stabbed rat. And I'm over the moon with how it goes. I didn't drive it far, as you can see, and I don't advocate driving like a lunatic, but I was just doing it in an industrial estate. And plus, to give myself a bit of dues, I haven't driven the car in 12 years. I was desperate to drive it and you know, give it the big licks, and I did. I drove it 100 yards, but that's the furthest it's driven in 12 years since I drove it to this garage, ironically. It has turned up a few faults, a few issues that need sorting out. Not faults per se, just things that were shakedown issues. So it's weeping a little oil out of the passenger side or near side valve cover, rocker cover. It's occasionally getting a puff of smoke out of the driver's side. Don't know what that is or where it's coming from. I suspect it's leaking from somewhere onto the exhaust underneath there, because the exhaust goes under the sump oil pan and across to the other side. So I think that's what it was. Will said it might be a bit of fuel vapour coming out the engine. It could be a broken piston ring for all I know, but it never contaminated the oil. It never overpressured the cooling system. It ran. The oil pressure was perfect all day. The water temperature was perfect all day. So I don't think it's a head gasket or anything like that. But you know, mechanical failure isn't his fault. It's the engine's an unknown. So you know, it's had a life. I don't know what the mileage was on it. No idea. So yeah, the engine's an unknown. No idea what it's been through in its past, or how many miles it's done or anything. So you know, it could be absolutely broken in there. but it's making the power, and it puffed a few puffs of smoke out, but it never lost any power. So Will is a mapping genius. I don't know enough about it to say if somebody's good or bad, any better or any worse, if you like. But the fact is, the things he did and the things he knows, he built loads of safety margins in there, and he explained it to me, and he went through it and said, if you want to adjust it at the track, all you've got to do is let me know, blah, 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 if you need any help. And he explained loads of stuff to me. I'd love to say I understood it all, but I didn't. But he really does know his stuff, yeah. I couldn't tell you what he did with the map, even if I wanted to. But I know it works really blooming well. It starts perfect, it drives perfect, the part throttle is bang on, the full throttle is better than bang on. So yeah, next step, make sure the wipers work, because they've stopped working for some reason. They just keep blowing the fuse. No idea why. I haven't changed anything. I suspect it might be a 50-year-old wiper motor that's seized up a little bit. Once that's done, the auxiliary drive belt, the fan belt, is catching on the oil cooler pipes, and it's marked the outside of it. So to prevent that getting any worse, I'm going to cover that with a bit of heat shielding, and hopefully adjust the angle of it just to put a little bit more distance between the belt and the pipe. Sort a couple of minor oil leaks, which are just, I mean, Rover V8s, if you've ever had one, they vibrate everything loose anyway. So I think it's just things that I need to tighten down a little bit tighter, but you know, it could just, I don't know, it's just blown a little bit of oil out. It's probably just the rocker cover or the adapter plate that's moved a bit. Other than that, she's ready to rock and roll for the MOT. All the lights and everything are working. As you can see, it needs a bit of colour sanding, and I've colour sanded through the bodywork over yonder, which you may or may not be able to see in the video. So apart from that, we're pretty much there. And then get loads and loads of street miles on it, start using it for work before street weekend, and before I do any racing with it. The racing is on this weekend, as in Saturday the whatever it is, the 11th or whatever it is, and Sunday the 12th or whatever it is. But I don't think it's worth me trying to take it over there and race with it until I'm absolutely sure everything is correct. Oh, sorry, I need to set the track in as well. But it's like an half-hour job once I've got room to put it at work. So yeah, overall, great. Could have made more power, yes. Wasn't going to be a horsepower hero and destroying the engine. It would have put me right back to square one, because I've had to rebuild the engine, and the event I'm building it for I would have missed. So literally no point. I'd rather get some use out of it to lower power output. I'm not bothered about breaking any drag racing records. Just want to be able to use it. So yeah, there she stands, mapped up, ready, drives beautifully. Once I get it insured and MOT'd, and obviously it's tax exempt, but once I've got the tax, you still have to tax them. So once I've got the tax on it, we're there. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. The next one will hopefully be the first drive out on the road. If you've enjoyed the video, please like it. If you want to see some more, please subscribe. If you don't want to see some more, please subscribe. I'd just like you to subscribe. But yeah, thanks for coming along. Cheers.
Go on.